Yes, that is snow, believe it or not. So this morning there was heavy snow. Not really sure where it come from because I don't think it was forecast. For about an hour or so. And then the sun came out and just melted it all. So it was all gone within like 2 hours. Sunday didn't go to plan, unfortunately. I can smile about it now because all I can really do is laugh it off. But yeah, just not my day. Had one of those days that you never want to have on a race day. I felt flat. Even in the warm-up before the race had started, I just knew it was going to be a bit of a slog, and it turned out exactly like that. So for the first 4 miles I ran at the back of a group and we were running about 1:16 pace. I felt quite good, felt quite comfortable. It was quite windy and it had been forecast for 40-mile-an-hour gusts, which is every runner's dream. Not. I kind of thought, you know what, I'm not going to get a chance to run another race like this for a little while, so I'm just going to go for it. I'll try and be as smart as I can by tagging in the back of a group, but unfortunately that still didn't really help a great deal. So we got to 4 mile and there was a drink station, so I slowed a little bit, and because the water's in cups, to actually get a mouthful of water you need to really slow down, otherwise it just spills everywhere. So there was a little gap to the group, just a couple of seconds. So I decided that I would just try and gradually close it. If I try to close it straight away in a matter of like 10 seconds, there was just a little bit of danger of sort of blowing up. So I thought that I would just try and close it gradually. And unfortunately, just after the water station we turned left into a really strong headwind. And then it was just downhill from there. I just didn't have the fight, legs just weren't up for it. And gradually the group pulled away little by little, and then very quickly after about 5 mile, and then I was just going backwards. And I just thought it's just going to be one of those runs where I've just got to get through it and just kind of move on. So I just made my way at the finish. Heart rate dropped right down below tempo rate, but I just couldn't lift the intensity. I'm not really sure why. So now I'm at the stage where I'm just trying to move on from a bad performance, which thankfully doesn't usually happen too often for me. Just a few tips for you guys if you've had a bad performance yourself, no matter what distance you've done. A few things that you can do to move on from that performance. So the first part of a bad race performance is always to sort of sulk, feel sorry for yourself, feel like the world's coming to an end, you know, you didn't perform how you wanted to, and it's frustrating and you lose motivation. I'm going to quit running, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I've had enough, it's not worth it. Yeah, everybody goes through that. But it's like that for a few days, but then you have to start thinking about moving on and how you're going to get past it. So for me, the first stage of getting over a bad race or a bad performance is to just analyse the performance. You want to know what went wrong. If it was something that was controllable, so something like pacing, you might have got your goal all wrong. You might be shooting for something that's just out of reach at the moment because your fitness isn't at that level. Or it could be something that's uncontrollable like the weather, and there's just nothing you can do about that on the day, and you've just got to kind of write the performance off as just it wasn't your day. You need to analyse and just get a bit of closure from that performance and understand what went wrong, and if it's something you can learn from, like the pacing, maybe in future you might want to do a couple of B races that'll give you an idea of where you're at. Use a race calculator to sort of say, right, I ran 5k or 10k or whatever distance it may be at this pace. What should I be looking to run for, say, a marathon based on a 10k time of, I don't know, 40 minutes? And you can get a sort of rough idea, and then you can factor that in your training, so when you come to race day it's achievable. That's definitely part of running, learning from mistakes and taking them forward. It'll definitely help you improve, and race pacing is one of the areas where a lot of people get it really wrong. I've done so myself in the past. The uncontrollable ones you just need to forget about, unfortunately. There's not a lot you can do about them, like for instance the weather. Maybe you get injured on the way, you've just got to move beyond those. The second step would be to look for a new challenge, a new goal, something that's going to excite you and make you want to train, make you want to get straight back into running. By straight back into running I mean sort of obviously making sure that you've recovered from whatever race you've just done. So it's not, if it's a 5k or 10k, the recovery isn't so long, but if you've just done a half marathon, or maybe even an ultra, you might want to just take a little bit of extra recovery, maybe just have the week after the race as some downtime just to reflect on it and just make sure that you're fully recovered before you get back into training for your next goal. So in my case, I want to go and run a marathon. So I haven't run a marathon for almost 2 years, but I'll go into more detail as I start training, which will be next week on Monday. Then the final step for me is just getting out and training. You need to just get back at it. For me, running's a bit of a therapy, just because if you've had a bad day at work or you're having a bit of a tough time for whatever reason, I always find that running helps. You just getting out and stretching your legs clears your mind, allows you to think things through. And I know this all seems very sort of treatment for a bad race performance, but it is like a bit of a mental healing process. Your confidence takes a bit of a hit, so yeah, you definitely need to sort of ease yourself back in. Yeah, so those are my 3 steps for how I get over it. So I analyse my race, see what happened, what went wrong, what elements were controllable that I can learn from, and what elements I just need to forget about. The second element is booking a race or setting a goal that's going to excite you, make you want to train again, gives you a little bit of a lift to get you out that slump. And then the third element is just to get out there, just to train towards a new goal and just get going again. You'll find that after a week or so, you're back in the swing of training, you're back in the routine, and you forgot about what happened. And if anything else, just think of it as a learning experience. So yes, you've maybe not achieved your goal this time around, but you cannot run a PB every time. You cannot achieve every single goal. That's just a fact of life, unfortunately. But you can definitely learn from things and take them forward. So I'll see you in my next video when hopefully I'm back running, starting the process of getting back into training, and that should be in the next day or 2. Plan this morning before I went to work was to take her down to the beach and have a little play next to the water. And then at about 9 o'clock, looked out the window at work and it was snowing. So yeah, we're like, oh, we're not going to go to the beach now. Fast forward an hour, it stopped snowing, the sun was out, blazing weather, the snow cleared up, almost. So we decided we'll go out after all, we'll take her down the beach, have a little bit of fun on the sand, and she absolutely loved it.